Mind you, this whole conversation is happening. I have nothing on from the bottom down. Hi everyone, my name is Chelimo and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I'm gonna be crocheting this beautiful men's summer shirt, which I've done the front panel and the back panel, and what I have left is the collar and the sleeves, as you can see. So I'm gonna crochet this as I tell you the story of when I auditioned for St. John's Ambulance in high school. Which, by the way, let me tell you guys, this story stuck with me. It was a very traumatic happening in my teenage life. I really wanted to get into St. John, y'all. I just wanted to be one of the cool kids, and I did a lot in that pursuit, and it was all in vain. Okay, so you guys, in my high school, I'm doing the collar. So this is how you do the collar for people who, so you see, this is the collar. So I need to just do a few more rows until it's big enough, because this is for it's a men's shirt, so I need to make the collar big enough and then move to the sleeves. So when I joined Form 1 and all the clubs were introduced to us, I immediately wanted to be in St. John Ambulance, because you know, they had really nice uniforms and they were all cool and they just looked so cool. So of course I wanted to join St. John so bad. But the auditions were being held in, in first term, and in Form 1 I was still kind of lost sheep, so I didn't even know when auditions were being held. And even if I had known, I don't know, I hadn't made enough friends to feel confident enough to audition. Anyway, so in Form 2, the Form 4 St. John Ambulance girls, they announced that auditions were about to start. And to be honest, in my high school, St. John auditions were just an excuse to bully people and to harass people, especially like if you didn't come from Nairobi, Awingi. If you had short hair, wingy. Kwanza mimi, I looked so, you can just imagine how I looked in Form 2 first term, especially Form 1. Yo, I should have just known. I should have known. My fate was sealed, but like I didn't see it that way. I was still very naive, so innocent. So when the audition started, I was like, I have a chance. So I said, okay, I'm going to audition. So day 1, we went. We were so many. We were like over 100. These are Form 2s. I was now in Form 2. So there are also some Form 3s that are auditioning, and the people who are in charge of auditioning us are Form 3s and Form 4s. We met at some class. I think it was, she called cadet leader or something. Her class. We went to her class for the first meeting during games time. So we go, and then we are told about how it's gonna be, how we're gonna do a lot of washing and cleaning pavements and stuff like that. And we were gonna do a lot of workouts. Man, it's been over 7 years since this shit happened, so forgive me if I don't remember what we used to call those things, but we used to go to the basketball court and do a lot of workouts and exercises, and we used to go to classes to be taught first aid, ninini, and then at the end of that 1 week period there's an exam that people do, and then after the exam there's an oral interview, and then after the interview you wait a few days, then they announce the people who've been selected to join. Okay, this entire process is just an excuse to bully people, y'all, and to test. These girls were testing our desperation levels. Oh my god. And girl, I was desperate. I was desperate to join St. John. So day 1, those girls introduce themselves, the leaders, they introduce themselves, blah blah blah, they tell us what is needed. So the next day we went to start cleaning. I was given to clean some slabs za kutoka sanatorium hadi some place in the school. Oh my god, tuliosha tulisugua slabs. Tunaenda basketball, tunaambiwa tupige magoti kwa hiyo tarmac. Tunaambiwa tufanye push-ups. My friend, we're doing leg ups, we're running, doing laps. And then this time we were taken to wash the big drainage in the the big kitchen drainage. Like the drainage, it was a big gully, because it was a big gully that came from where they do the washing in the kitchen. Where they do the washing in the kitchen, there was a big mtaro yenye ilikuwa inapita all the way from the kitchen, inapita, alafu ilikuwa imewekwa cobalt kwa sababu it was a very big okay, not a very big, but it was a big mtaro. Ilikuwa inapita and then inaenda paka at the farthest end of the school. So it's like a river of disgusting water from the kitchen and food stuff, and you can just imagine. It was a river of kitchen dirt. Okay, a river of rotting kitchen dirt that goes all the way till the end of the school, so that it can be disposed of. Okay, so that's the thing we were taken to wash. Umevaa gloves, unashika brush, unaanza kusugua. Imagine these girls were telling us to hand brush. You know, it's not the long brush. They were not allowing us to use the long brush. The brush ya kushika, the hand brush. They were telling us to scrub with it that gully, of which even the staff at school, they don't use hand brushes, they use the long brushes. Okay, so you can imagine, and the staff in the school also have gumboots. So you can imagine we don't have gumboots. That's first of all, that is even it's a sanitation hazard. It's a health hazard. Tuli scrub mitaro. People who are auditioning from my class, we were 4. Me, another girl, she knows herself. If she sees this video, she'll know herself. Mimi na yeye hatu kuingia, we were not cool. And the other 2 who joined. So I really didn't have a chance. If I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't even have bothered to audition. So now si tukasugua hapo hivyo hiyo mitaro. After kumaliza tunaenda, yani tulisugua shule mzima tu. Haya, then came the day for the exam. We did the exam. So yo umeshika, there used to be a St. John, is it a manual or is it there's a book that they were using to, it has all the first aid protocols, it has how to do CPR, how to do all those things. It was in one, I think it's a manual. Tumekram hiyo kitabu so that in the exam tusishindwe kujibu maswali. Guess what they bring in the exam? Guess what they bring in the test? Guess what they bring in the test? So if I mention your name, it's not, I'm going to try not to use real names. During one of those meetings, they used to tell us also the history of St. John, landmarks in those history, you know, those things. So we used to note them down because it's not of it wanauliza kwa exam. But let me tell you, why did the majority of the exam have questions like, when is Betty's birthday? What is the name of Jacinta's boyfriend? Where does Mary live? Where does Mary's boyfriend like to hang out over school holidays? Those are the types of questions they're asking. How will I know? How will I know? How will I know? How will I know? Oh my God. Tukajibu tu venye tunaweza. Hapo sasa, I don't even think they were marking those exams, to be honest, because now I know it was just an excuse to just kutoa watu jasho. The traumatic experience happened on the day of the interview. Now, for context, we need to go back a few months. So this is Form 2 around February, 2018 February, okay? So in Form 1 third term, and Form 2 first term, okay? This is for context purposes. Listen carefully. So in Form 1 third term, one Sunday after church, okay, you guys, be nice. Be nice. This was a traumatizing moment of my life. Okay, usinichongwe sana. In my high school on Sundays, women who used to clean, they used to put all the lost and found items that they had picked all over the school on a big tarp. So they used to put a big tarp outside one of the stores in school, then wanamwaga hapo hizo lost and found items zote, uniform, shirts, sweaters, skirts, everything yenye wamekuwa wakipick while cleaning all over the school. Like if you leave your uniform somewhere you're not supposed to leave, and then they pick it, or if it falls in the hanging lines, they used to pick them, and then on Sunday they put hapo so that people can come and look for their lost items. So one Sunday in Form 1 that term, we come from chapel, we're heading towards the dorms to start our Sunday routine, washing your hair, blah blah blah. So my friend and I, we decided to go and look at the lost and found items. Maybe utapata shati yako hapo ama skati yako yenye ulipoteza. On that Sunday, that specific Sunday, I'm sifting through, and then what do I find? I find a nice short tight black skirt. I was so excited because as I already told you, joining St. John Ambulance was my dream. I just wanted to wear those short black skirts and go for funkies and look cool, and meet boys. So I picked that black skirt and I go with it to the house. I change from, tulikuwa tumevaa uniform tukiwa chapel, so I wear that skirt, I go to the mirror. We used to have a full-size mirror right at the door to the house, to the dorm. So I go to the mirror, I start admiring myself, So I'm in Form 1, the curves already came in, I'm admiring myself in the black skirt. I'm like, oh, and it was a perfect fit, by the way, that skirt. It was a perfect fit. It was hugging every curve nicely. I'm admiring myself. Then this guy, I'm gonna say her name, she's not gonna find this video. A girl called Melissa. She was the cheerleader of St. John at the time. She walks into the house with her best friend. I'm right at the door because that's where the mirror is. So I don't know why I was so scared. I don't know. Sijui nilidhani nini itafanyika. Nikashtuka sana, nikakimbia to my QB. I used to have a house mom who was in Form 2. Hi Esther, shout out. So my house mom was making her bed. I ran to the QB. I removed that skirt quickly because I'm scared that now the child lady has seen me wearing St. John uniform and I'm not in St. John. So kumbe this girl has decided to follow me to my QB. She comes to my QB. I'm half naked. From the waist down, because I've removed the skirt but I've not put on the other skirt. So she comes, she walks in, she's like, hi, what's your name? I tell her my name. Ko class gani? I tell her. And she's like, she was so beautiful, by the way, that girl. I don't know where she is right now. I bet she's still beautiful. Mind you, this whole conversation is happening. I have nothing on from the bottom down. Like, of course I have underwear, but I don't say. So I'm wearing a shirt and a tie and sweater. But 14-year-old Chelly. So she tells me I was on the verge of tears during this conversation because of how panicked I was. She told me okay, put on some clothes. I put on my clothes. Tears start falling. My house mom is wondering what's going on. Oh goodness. Then this girl tells me ulitoa wapi skirt. I didn't want to tell her nilikuwa nimetoa kwa lost and found. I don't know why I was so scared. I don't know. This is what, let me tell you something. This entire story is what you call panic mode. Okay? So she asked me when nilikuwa nimetoa wapi skirt. I didn't say nimetoa kwa lost and found. I said I was given by my friend who's in St. John. She asks which friend. I don't know why this girl followed me to my QB. Is it that because I ran away from her and she was curious? I never asked. She was in Form 3 at the time. She had just been selected as the cadet leader for the following year now when she would be a senior. This is third term. So I told her that I've been given by my friend who's in St. John. So she told me, what's the name of your friend? I say Mercy something. I just made up a name, a common name. She said, ako class gani? I said, made it up. She said, okay, just return the skirt to her, and then come see me in my class at 6:40. She told me, I want you for the because sababu aliona nimemwogopa, akasema ati I want you to come and talk to me every evening in my class from 6:40 at 6:40 every evening, ukuje unisalimie. I said okay. See you ikaisha. So Sundays we didn't have classes, but we used to have evening preps. So Sunday evening I went to her class. Monday evening I went. That's the whole week. I'm going to just say hi to Melissa. Oh my god, this was so embarrassing. So see your story after hiyo wiki imeisha, your story kalala hivyo. Okay, kaisha hivyo. Now fast forward to February Form 2, when I'm auditioning for St. John. I walk into the interview. Who's in the room? The cadet leader and her bunch of leaders. They were in Form 4 now at the time. So I walk into the room, I find Form 4s, and I was in Form 2. I find Form 4s there. Oh, and when I was in Form 1, Form 2, the Form 4s were so big. I don't feel like we were scary when I was in Form 4. But when I was in Form 1 and Form 2, the Form 4s were big and they were scary and they were gorgeous. And they were so intimidating, you guys. They were so intimidating. I walk into the room. Form 4s are there, Form 3s are there. And their classmates and their friends. So the room has about not less than 15 people, 15 to 20 people or more. Okay, so we're supposed to do an oral test sort of thing. So they asked me to introduce myself. I introduced myself. At the time, by the way, I was still kind of fresh in high school because it was in Form 2 first term. I hadn't started engaging in activities, going to these funkies, stuff like that. I was still very timid, of which I've never been a timid person really, but I was intimidated, and I really, really desperately wanted to join St. John, very desperately. So they asked me, what do you do? I told them I sing, I'm in poetry. I was in poetry club at the time. I do poetry, I sing, and I like swimming. Of course, listed my hobbies. So they told me, oh, ebu sing for us. Kauliza, what should I sing? Wakasema sing Happy Birthday. It's Vivian, also not real name. It's Vivian's birthday today. Sing for her Happy Birthday. And play the piano. Nikashanga play the piano. How? Of which I think every musician can play Happy Birthday on piano. But we were in a classroom, there was no piano there. So I was like, how? I saw demonstrate how you would play piano if the piano was in the room. You guys. I was so desperate to join St. John. Yani nilikubali to disrespect na dharau. Yes. In today's age, I would have walked out. I would have just walked out because is it a must? Is it do or die? So I started. Happy birthday to you.
He embarrassed me. He insults me in front of people.
Happy birthday to you. Then they asked me to demonstrate how I would swim. Do you know I demonstrated, you guys, on air? I was standing and I demonstrated how I would swim. Hey, these girls, they humiliated me and embarrassed me. I need some time to think.
Can you please let me think?
Oh, goodness. Okay, so finally, one of Melissa's friends asked, "Na, unakwanga sawa kwa kichwa?" I can remember the face of the girl who asked me that. Ushindwe mapepo ikufuate penye huko. She asked me, unakuanga sawa kwa akili? I asked, what do you mean? Are you usually kind of crazy? That's what she asked me. And she was asking me like, for real, ati kama mimi ni wazimu.
How dare you?
Mbona mtu akuulize kama wewe ni wazimu? Mtu akiwa wazimu anajuanga. Let's start with that. Because first of all, that is a very redundant question to ask. Because kama mtu ni wazimu hajui that ni wazimu. Kama mtu ni wazimu hajui. Na kama anajua haezi admit yeye ni wazimu.
They ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
So of course I say no. Why do you ask? Another one picks up. This is just a bullying session now. Another one asks, Ati, I heard that you stole a skirt from the hanging lines last year and Melissa found you. I was like, stole? No, I've never stolen in my life, of which I actually had never stolen in my life. Not that I have stolen up to now, but until then also I had never stolen. So I said, no, I've never stolen in my life. What are you talking about? They were like, so last year Melissa found you wearing a skirt and you ran away. What was that all about? Oh my God. My knees got weak. I almost fell. I almost started crying, but I didn't cry until I left that room. I just started saying, no, I hadn't stolen that skirt. I was just scared to say, and they were not even giving me a chance to explain myself. If they had given me a chance, I would have said, niliokota kwa lost and found, nikaenda kujipima kwa sababu I just wanted to try it on because it felt nice and it looked nice. Okay? But they didn't give me a chance. They were just calling me crazy. Oh, sijui, I just picked someone's and then Melissa came to talk to me when I was naked. Oh, I'm not usually okay in the head.
Let me think.
And you know, by the way, I'm a very outspoken person. If you know me in person, I'm very outspoken. I'm very soulful. I'm very bubbly. Okay, I'm a very bubbly person, and I've always been, right? So these people wanaingililia hadi bubbly personality yangu kama support ya ati mimi ni wazimu.
If you know that you don't love me, the very first day that I come for you would have told me that, hey, I'm not interested with you.
That's when that happened, I just gave up. I just knew I wasn't gonna join St. John. I just knew hawataniingisha. Because kama wangekuwa wananiingisha wangeni humiliate hivyo. So when I left that interview, I was just swallowing rocks. You know, swallowing rocks. And then someone is asking me, I've just left the room, someone is asking me, how did it go? Oh my God, you look like it went well. I'm like, yeah, it was okay. I'm optimistic. But deep down, deep down I know.
Let me just concentrate on myself.
Because you know, desperation is a bad thing. That experience taught me a very, very important lesson. Desperation is a bad thing. Because, do you know, even during one time within that week, we were doing the agility exercises in the basketball court. And then, senye tumemaliza sasa, we're doing a short meeting to disperse to the supper. This girl, what's not her real name? This girl called, girls' names.
2 hours later.
Val. So Val says, so we're supposed to be getting St. John t-shirts soon. We're supposed to be ordering them. So who's gonna pay for mine? It goes for 600 each. So if you join St. John, you're gonna be expected to buy a t-shirt as well. So I need someone who's ready to pay for mine and hers as well. Venye tuliinua mikono. Tunabeg kukua picked tulipiane t-shirt ya wenyewe because we're desperate to join St. John. And you know, we were doing it to ourselves. Nobody was forcing us. You know, this is why when people talk about choice, for example, oppression of a group of people, for example, maybe LGBTQ or how women in some parts of the world, like, they choose to be housewives and not have an education or chase a degree or a career, or some people, some black people in predominantly white areas, they're told, oh, they're the ones choosing to go and live in places where there's white people, so like what should they expect? But like, what is choice really? A good example is how preachers like Kanyare, preachers like Nganga, preachers like, I don't know any other one who's very on the nose about what they do, but these conmen who call themselves preachers, people say that even Mackenzie, watu walikuwa wanaenda kwa Shakahola by choice. Hata Nganga, hata Kanyare, watu hupanda mbegu by choice. Mtu anachukua simu yake anatuma 310. Is it really choice? When you consider some factors, because you consider these people who, kama Kanyari is usually on some TV station, I don't know if it's Aviation or Uhuru, that this TV stations, anaambia watu watume 200 wapate mibaraka, watume 200 wapate mibaraka, and people send. Are they choosing or are they being conned? Is it daylight robbery, or are these people just choosing to give out their money? And choice is there's a lot of factors to consider, because first of all, someone who's desperate cannot make a good choice. It's like underage people cannot make choices. That's why they don't have the power to consent, okay? People who have illnesses, certain illnesses, cannot make a choice. Someone who's in a particular state of mind cannot make a choice. That's why when we talk about bullying, or people who are in toxic relationships, toxic situations, maybe they have toxic mothers, toxic fathers, or they have toxic friends who usually abuse them. Sijui friend atashinda kikuibia boyfriends wako wote na unabaki hapo ukikuwa friends na yeye. You know, it's not black and white. You could say we were choosing to be bullied, but we'll talk about this topic another day. What exactly choice is, and the illusion of options, the illusion of choice. When the names of people who had joined St. John came out, of course my name wasn't in, because first of all, the way I looked, I did not meet the aesthetical requirements, and then also the fact that I guess they thought I was crazy and I was uncool, and probably I demonstrated lack of self-respect in the whole audition process. Maybe I was supposed to laugh off those demands, because why? But I was 14. I was 15 when I was in Form 2. I wasn't very exposed like some of those girls in the school, because I lived a very sheltered life. I come from a small town, which is a city right now. So yeah. Anyway, that's a fun story, right? It's a nice way to kick off this YouTube channel. I'll be talking about, I have a lot of wild stories, and we're gonna be keeping it light over here. I'll be doing story times, I'll be doing commentary, movie reviews, and such content on my channel. So be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you like this video, feel free to like the video, share, comment, and see you next time. Bye bye. Mwah.